Today we're going to be visiting the largest tulip farm in the Southern Hemisphere. To get there we'll be taking the Tarkine drive and driving through the largest temperate rainforest in Australia. Good morning everyone! Last time you saw us we had just made it to the edge of the world. We headed slightly further north after that to a campground called Green Point Campground, and it has been super nice here. We're currently in the day use area, but just ahead of this is a camping area, and you're right on the beach and we can't see any time limits or anything. You've got this beach behind me, we've got this barbecue area, there's toilets, there's a playground. It is a really nice campground. And we're definitely sad to be leaving here because we haven't stayed here that long, and I feel like it's such a nice campground that we could stay here ages. But that is for good reason, because we are back on the road today and continuing our travels. Typical Tassie weather. Went out to get some pretty shots, started raining, and the sky is completely grey now. Made it to Sumac Lookout, and there's a little trail that comes down to this beautiful lookout point, literally maybe 10 meters off from the car park, and it's so beautiful and so peaceful here. As soon as we're silent, all you hear is just the birds, the dripping of water, it's the rustling of the trees and the wind. Definitely recommend this one, and it is not at all far off the road. See, our van is literally just up there poking through the trees, and this is the lookout.
Now you might be wondering what's so special about the Tarkine forest, and it's actually Australia's biggest cool temperate rainforest, and I think I read somewhere that it's the world's second biggest cool temperate rainforest in the Southern Hemisphere. And a lot of the plant species that are found here are ancient and can be dated back to when Tasmania was part of Gondwana. It's just so beautiful and unique here. And another fun fact, it actually has the world's freshest air and water supply. It is truly spectacular. I mean, just look at that.
We are at our next spot, which is Julius River, and there are 2 walks that you can do here. We're going to be doing the rainforest walk. It's funny, I can still see the van just behind us, and we're maybe, 10 meters in, and it is so lush and so green and so quiet and peaceful, and just there's life everywhere, and it feels so fresh. You're transported into a whole different world within meters. It's a shame because obviously Wehan and I look into these areas when we're coming to them and visiting them, but there are sections of the Tarkine that are being logged, and I think it was even the other day we saw an article where they said, okay, we're not going to log this area of ancient trees, but in the same breath they earmarked, I think it was over 1,000 hectares of other land, and a lot of that was within the Tarkine.
While my parents visited Tasmania, we did go on one of the cruises that goes along the Gordon River and Macquarie Bay, and we actually got to stop off in, I think it's not 100% sure what the national park is called, but a lot of the southwest of Tasmania is actually UNESCO World Heritage listed, and it's protected, and it's because it's significant to obviously the First Nation people and their culture, but as well it's also significant in nature, and it's a very, very important area. And this whole Tarkine area is pretty much the same. It is significant to the First Nation people, and it's also significant in nature. I don't see why this area isn't protected.
Since Wehan touched on the Aboriginal significance of this area, I thought we should add that the Aboriginal name for the Tarkine region is Tarkine, and the tribe that lived in this area was actually Tarkine. And this area only really started getting called the Tarkine region when conservationists were trying to protest this area and get it protected, and then they picked up that name from the First Nations people and started using that. So that's where the name comes from.
And of course, you need to strike a balance between mining and logging and nature in order for a country to, have an income. After all, it is pretty difficult to replace trees that, grow 1 millimeter every year and are thousands of years old. What did you find, Lydia?
I just told Bjorn that these look like gummy worms. Nature's gummy worms. Take a bite.
Yeah. I would not suggest doing that.
Well, it's time for us to hit the road again, continue the Tarkine drive, and head north to the coast. We easily could have done the Tarkine drive over multiple days. There is so much else to see. And we even were debating staying a night.
Yeah.
Because there's this campsite that...
It had a couple of reviews. And even one review said that they stayed there for 2 nights and they saw Tasmanian devils both nights. So we really debated covering this over a few nights, but we're on a bit of a time crunch. So we've got to keep heading north, but if you're going to do it, I'd say do it over a couple of days, right? 100%.
Awesome. Let's hit the road.
We made it!
After a lot of driving, we're here at the largest tulip farm in the Southern Hemisphere, as you can see. So you may notice behind me that some of the farm doesn't actually have tulips at the moment. Now that's because tulips actually have a pretty small bloom window. So they bloom from late September to mid-October, and the best time to see them is in October. We are actually here in late September because we have something coming up very soon that we can't move for dates on. So unfortunately, we can't be here when they're at their peak, but the ones that have bloomed are still just so beautiful.
And also, the lady at the reception was so nice. She said that we can always come back when they're in full bloom, but of course, we'll be busy then.
Yes, unfortunately. Also, I forgot to say that they have a really special tulip festival that runs here in October. If you're coming here and you want to see the tulips, come for that because we have heard that it is amazing. This tulip farm actually sits on Table Cape, which is a volcanic plug, just like the Nut, which we visited the other week. And what's really cool is that this volcanic plug actually has 180 meter cliffs that drop straight into the Bass Strait. So not only is the tulip farm really beautiful and cool, but the actual location here is really cool as well.
I mean, the area surrounding the tulip farm is a national park.
Yes.
Just to put that into perspective.
Yes, it is a really cool spot. Can you give us your color tier list?
Okay, well,
what's your favorite?
I'm just going to put it out there. Red should be reserved for roses. So I think it should be...
That's a big claim. There's
orange.
a lot of flowers that are red.
I think orange... I also don't like the ones that have like different colors on them. I think they're too... It almost looks like tie-dye.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Okay,
so
what colors do you like?
Orange, then white, then yellow, then pink, then purple, and then red. And then like all the other ones are like same level.
I knew Wehan was fussy about everything, but who knew he'd be fussy about tulip colour? Enjoy Wehan's dance moves. But you may be able to notice off in the background is also the Table Cape Lighthouse.
I feel like it's so awkward just walking around here because it seems like everyone came here just for a photo shoot.
Yeah, there's a lot of people here taking photos and some getting like professional photographs done, so it's a little awkward walking around and filming right now.
that was my first time being at a tulip farm, and I didn't know what to expect.
Wait, is being at a tulip farm like a common occurrence?
I don't know.
Have most people
probably
been
is
to a
if you're like
tulip farm?
Dutch or something.
Okay, well, I don't think I've ever been to a tulip farm either.
Oh yeah, high five.
Our first experience together.
I had a look on Google, nice classic Google, and I did see that a lot of the time they do have more tulips, and of course, at the reception they did say that they're not in full bloom yet, but it doesn't look like they have that many planted.
It seems like they have like one, I don't know if paddock's the right term to use, but it seems like they have one paddock right at the front and then like one
It's almost as
paddock
if like
at the back, and
Farmville, like where you unlock areas. But it's not.
It definitely seems like there's less than there has been in previous years.
There's
But
photos of it being completely covered, so I have no doubt that it is the biggest tulip farm in the Southern Hemisphere. It just doesn't seem like it if you didn't know. But also, like, it doesn't really make a difference.
Yeah,
it really doesn't. The tulips are still beautiful. There's multiple angles where you can get tulips
Beautiful
everywhere
shots.
and whatever, and I guess that's the main purpose of people visiting here is to take
and
photos.
also when they're in full bloom, and you wouldn't have to walk far to exactly. Like it would be like hectares and hectares of walking through the something you can get right at the front, you know what I mean?
So
like when they're in full bloom, that would just be stunning. And also massive shout out to these guys here, because we actually reached out a couple weeks ago and asked if we would be able to fly our drone here, because they are a no drone zone, and they said that was all good. They allowed us to fly the drone once the farm had closed, which we really appreciate. And
they've been lovely.
Yeah, they've been so lovely. They said we could come back when it's full bloom, and we wish we could, but we have something really, really exciting with set dates that we can't
Otherwise, we would have come here for the festival.
Otherwise, we would have come here for the festival, exactly.
See you guys in Ulverston.
Well, we didn't think we'd make it to our campsite before sunset, but we made it just on sunset. It's so pretty right now.
Yeah, it is. It's actually on the river. Well, not on the river, because otherwise we'd be drowning. But it's right next to the river. That is called Leven.
Leven River.
Which, that might ring a bell in your head.
Yes.
Yes, it's the same river that goes to the Leven Canyon that we showed in our first video in Tasmania.
Yes, first video in Tassie.
So,
which is so wild to think about, that this runs all the way to Leven Canyon. It's
all the river systems and waterways in Tasmania just, like, it's...
they go so deep.
You're like, what? Leven? And then also, like, even the Mersey one, you're like, what? It's, pretty cool.
But Ulverston is really nice. We've actually stayed here once before after Jan's parents left. Yeah. And you may be able to see our van behind. So it's kind of just this gravelled area. There's not really any facilities or anything, but you are right on the river, and
there's a train track there, but we've never heard a train.
No, we haven't.
Yeah, and we spent like a whole day here.
I was about to say, I don't know if there's a time limit.
2 days.
2 days?
Yeah.
Okay. I think there's a limit of 2 days, but it's quite nice here, so...
Yeah, would recommend. Well, I guess that is it for this video.
Yeah, we'll see you in the next one, guys. Thanks for watching.
Bye, guys.
Bye.